Yo guys, I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm gonna be showing a speedrun that I've been working on for the past couple of days in relation to a bounty. So a bounty is a challenge that someone puts up. In this case it was Team Hitless that put it onto the Discord server. And the idea is that multiple people will be working or competing in the same challenge or the same speedrun for fun, or in some cases for a small prize pool. In this case it was just for fun. And Team Hitless has been running these bounties sort of regularly for over a year. And this time around, for March 2024, it was for Dishonored 2. So I thought I would give it a shot because I haven't really run this game in a while and I really enjoy speedrunning this game. So for this challenge you need to do a run, or a speed run I guess. Doesn't have to be a speed run, but the winners were ranked by speed. So like, you know, if someone got a 1 hour run and someone got a 40-minute run, then the 40-minute one would be ranked above, right? Yeah. But the requirements for the run actually, you know, being a completion is that firstly, it's gotta be hitless. It's gotta be without any hits or staggers from enemies, or also traps, but not all traps count. It's a little complicated, like fences do not count, and taking damage from rails also don't count. But yeah, it's gotta be without upgrading the power. So you can use your blink or your far reach, which are abilities that you start with in this game. But you can't upgrade them or unlock other abilities, such as like double jump, which was kind of a challenge for this run. Like usually I always get double jump for the speed runs because it just helps you traverse a lot of things quicker. Yeah, so here you just see me like going through the tutorial. Also killing some guards, which is not usually like necessary, but because this run also requires you to be in high chaos, we get some extra kills in whenever we can. Like, high chaos is quite interesting. Chaos is a mechanic in this game. Also doing a cool skip here, which is allowed. But yeah, you'll also be seeing me here doing like a route where I walk around and kill some extra enemies. This is to increase the chaos. But yeah, chaos is a mechanic that is sort of interesting in this game. It doesn't have like many gameplay implications. It's mostly for like lore or immersion and the ending, like that sort of stuff. The more people you kill, the more you increase the chaos. And so if you haven't played the game is like about trying to reclaim the empire because you have like been dethroned, or well, like you can play as either Emily or Corvo. In this run we're playing as Corvo. Corvo is like the dad of the Empress, who is Emily. Emily's the Empress. And you're also like her bodyguard. So, you know, you're trying to get the empire back under your guys' control anyway. So, the more people you kill, the worse state the empire will be in when you regain control of it. So that's kind of the lore background on that. But yeah, so usually like low chaos is considered a good ending. You can even get a clean hands ending, which is no kills. But yeah, high chaos adds the extra like challenge in the speedrun because you have to kill more enemies, which does require some extra thinking in the routing. And that mission 1 had so many iterations that I worked on, and it has a lot of kills because a lot of the missions have very dangerous enemies that aren't really worth fighting. So what I did was like I bunched up all the kills in places that were safe but also pretty fast, because like you have to strike a balance between safety and speed, because obviously if you get hit you start over, which sometimes you have a run that is going very fast but then you make a tiny little error or get some bad RNG and you get hit, and that's very unfortunate because that can happen on any run, like fast or slow. Yeah. Here we actually get these supernatural powers, which we can use to blink. We get these runes just because you have to. Like, runes are the things that you use to upgrade your powers. Like, for that mission, you have to pick them up to end it and progress the game. But we aren't actually allowed to use them for this challenge. So, in general about the high chaos, I couldn't actually find any good numbers online about it, so I had to do some checking myself in the memory with the not debug menu. This isn't Sekiro, with cheat engine. So I was like, in practice, I was like looking at like the internal number for it to see, because it doesn't show you anywhere. And a specific requirement for this challenge is that every mission has to, at the end, be high chaos. Like, to attain the high chaos ending, all you have to do is just be on high chaos by the end of the game. But obviously,
off we go then.
like that sort of, like in theory, you could get all the kills on the final mission to just bump it up at the end, but not with this challenge because, yeah, you need to also be high chaos on the earlier missions. And if you don't really kill anyone purposefully extra, then you won't get high chaos. That is quite a high like requirement for it. I might make a video talking about how it works in the future. I'll definitely make some numbers because really no one knows the really specifics, or at least no one has made anything public around it. So yeah, here I'm killing a bunch of civilians because civilians are like good-hearted people and thus they give the most chaos. So like in a normal playthrough that would be like a super no-no to do. And really the only reason you would need to increase your chaos in a normal playthrough is, you know, if you got caught. Like the game is mostly about stealth, but we don't really use stealth in a speedrun. You will see a little bit of stealthing because some enemies are too scary to deal with because of the no-hit rule. So yeah, that will mostly be later in the game though. In the first couple of missions, also, like, I'll use the gun. If some enemy gets in the way, I'll try and shoot it. But in the later missions, I will just run away. Because some of them don't even die to a gunshot at that point. Like witches and clockwork soldiers and that sort of shit. Right. So I think that's pretty much everything I had to go over. Except, like, glitches aren't allowed. Like, there are some small glitches or some things that you could debate are glitches, like that skip for that mission that we just did, like climbing up the rocks. Usually you have to go through, like, the actual area. It doesn't, like, use any, like, weird, like, glitchy mechanics apart from, like, the fact that you can kind of stay on the rock. But, yeah. So here I'm regenning some mana. Like, mana was quite a big problem for this because normally speedruns you do them on easy and the difficulty increase like on the setting gives you less mana from the potions. So overall on this run we had a very low amount of mana and also the efficiency was very bad on the blinks because you didn't have double jump and usually, you know, you would double jump and then blink to get more distance and also you would get a skill that makes you run faster. Yeah, just getting past the blood flies here. that spawn is a little bad when the blood flies are like there to the right. It's kind of bad RNG. You can also have them not be there. Here I have to talk to her and then murder her. That's just how I don't know why that works. It just works. You can also like do some stuff with listening to an audio tape or something, but yeah. Have to shoot that for the mission, and we shoot that barrel to kill these guys. Drop down and assassinate this guy. At this point, you just have to wait for the thing, so you might as well go for those kills. I'll need new boots. But yeah, the mana was really tough for this run. Like, Mission 4 and Mission 5 especially, we're on Mission 3 right now, so you'll see in a moment, are very mana heavy because there are many places where I have to run past enemies and that isn't safe without really like spamming blink. And usually you would want to wait as long as possible or for a certain amount of time after blinking for your mana to recover a little bit. But if you're like blinking and then blinking again, then it will only recover like the mana from the very last blink you do. So you lost some potential mana. If you recover on every single blink, then you can blink infinitely. So that's something. So I'll try to do that when there's no danger, just to preserve mana. It is a little bit slow in some cases, but I didn't really have time to optimize the run super much. So there are also some big mistakes in this run, but pretty happy with it still. Alright, so here we are on mission 4. On this mission we gotta go find Anton Sokolov, that's the lore. But yeah, we just kill a bunch of these civilians. And we also picked up the mana potions. Then we gotta get up on the roof of this building. We gotta take this carriage. You see the rails for it right here. I'm just waiting for mana here also. You see the railings there? That's where the carriage is running on. We just gotta get here early to trigger the carriage spawning. Have to wait for it. Kill these guys for free. This is kind of a funny little thing. Kick them in the nuts. They do see you, but they can't fight back when they're in the carriage. Right, so you gotta be careful stepping on these railings because they do give you deal a lot of damage. They almost one-shot you. Like, they two-shot you. They do like 80% of your HP in damage. I'm just doing some navigating here, get an extra kill here, just because he's on the way. Blink to avoid getting shot. There's a guy with a gun there, so you have to be careful. One thing to note is that fall damage is allowed. So I take a lot of intentional fall damage to go faster. That's also why I pick up health potions, because you know, if you aren't getting hit or taking damage, you don't need them, but they are very nice to have, because sometimes you take more fall damage than you intend to. But in either case, I would need some, because right there I took like a fall that takes half my HP. You didn't see it because... probably didn't see it because I used the potion right as it happened. But we're like half HP and we'll take like 50% of our HP later here as well, falling down an elevator shaft. Right, so we're in the mansion now where Anton Sokolov is held. We shoot that little thing to disable this electrical wall of light, so we can traverse through safely. This is quite a big shortcut for like the standard way of going through. Shooting that as everything is opening. Like, this mansion like is very weird. Okay, so we gotta kill this guy. So he let the elevator go up here. Usually you would want to kill him before he calls the elevator, so you can just jump down the shaft. Jump down the... that sounds a little sus. Nah. Yeah. But nah, yeah, now we gotta go get Sokolov. Gotta make it through a little maze here. But yeah, those rooms are like... You gotta like be fast to make it through on like... through like the way I did. Like it's really weird. If you're trying to learn it, like how to go through that fast. Like as soon as it kind of goes like not the way you intend to, you have to pull the levers in a weird combination to get like, yeah, to get back to the way they were. Right, so here we got Anton Sokolov. I just did a little, again, a skip where I'm like blinking through while the area is like opening, instead of changing the maze as you're supposed to and then do like moving and then changing it again. Like you can just like, while it's swapping between the states, you can like just hop on through quickly. Gotta be careful of this clockwork soldier. He can hit you. I didn't use like a super high amount of mana here. This was probably also why this run succeeded, because I saved a lot of mana for this next mission. Like usually I would spam it, like right when I'm running up to the guy to shoot him in the face so he doesn't call the elevator to save a bit of time. Kirin Jindos, kill him. Yeah. Right, so here we are at the end of this mission. Just gotta like not get hit by the railing there and then dodge the witches here. In this case, we didn't get spotted at all by them. Usually you do get spotted. And just throw him onto the boat. Usually when you throw him, he dies, but apparently this is like a safe area for him, so he doesn't die here. When you throw him. The game is super anal about that normally. Like if you are like at a window or something and you drop him, he can sometimes like die to the window glass or something like, or some gravity meme. Yeah, it can be weird sometimes. Right, so here we have some more lore. Here it's like Delilah talking about her story, trying to convince you that she's actually in the right for taking over the Empire. At the start of the game, in one of the cutscenes, you saw Emily get frozen, like right after we picked our character, after we picked Corvo. And that was Delilah. She's like taken over the Empire and proclaimed herself as the new Empress. And she's found a way to become like immortal, so that's like what the most of the missions are about, is like figuring out why she's immortal and then figuring out how to reverse her immortality and such so we can murder her. But obviously, as someone who's already played the game, even though I know how that works, we can't just skip to the end, sadly. Like in kind of like in Skyrim or in Elden Ring, where you can just skip to the end. This game, it's like hard to break because it's like, you know, mission based. It's not like an open world game. You have to do each mission before you can go to the next, because they're like connected in they're literally connected to each other. It's not like there is no transitioning between them. It's not like there is a trigger that you can hit to like go to mission 4 from mission 1. There are a few cases where you can skip over large portions of a mission. In this run, you can't really do that because glitches aren't allowed. Like mission 6, we do skip a little bit because there is a riddle that you gotta solve, and usually mission 6 is spent figuring out like the riddle. But since I already know how to solve the riddle, like there is a pretty good algorithm for it that is quite easy to learn. And otherwise, you would have to either sit and solve the riddle, which I have to admit, I have never been able to solve it on my own, like without using the algorithm, and I don't know why the algorithm for solving it works. But I don't understand the logic, I should say, like behind it, because it's like a, you know, it's like a word riddle, right? Like the association between the items you should be able to understand that somehow, or you shouldn't be able to, but you could potentially. So one of the other ways of solving it is to just get the solution, and you can do that by doing like a quest for either the High Overseer or like a street gang. I'm not sure how entirely it works because, yeah, speedrunning has kind of removed that part from me. I just like do it with the algorithm. Here we rewire this with one of the rewired kits that we picked up in mission 4 while we were like rotating the bathroom right before going to kill Kirin Jindos. Right there I took fall damage, by the way. That's why you saw that like blood marker on the screen. I didn't actually take damage. This run is fully hitless. We didn't take damage from enemies, I should say. So this run was verified.
about why Delilah can't be killed.
Alright, so we just killed Brianna there. You don't have to kill her, but it's just faster than doing the non-lethal. Like, you gotta neutralize her in some way, because she's like one of the sources of Delilah's immortality. She's like a witch or whatever. And Delilah also has like supernatural witch powers or something. Here I'm using a lot of mana to escape. Like, the witches can teleport, so they can literally teleport on top of you and shoot you. They have AoE damaging attacks, so they're very... AoE range attacks, so they're very dangerous. Right. Just blink through. This is quite a fast mission, but it's very dangerous. The most dangerous mission, because like when you're running through the conservatory area with all the witches, because they get perma-aggroed to you when you're there. Like, you are so long in that area that you're constantly in combat, and so their pathing is very random, because they also start fighting with the guards outside, the witches. So they'll have very random pathings. And that can be very dangerous when you're trying to go below and play the audio tape, which is required to figure out the objective, or like to complete the objective for the mission.
I'll get you as close as I can.
Right, so now we're going to mission 6, which is where we'll do the riddle. So this is, I guess, the shortest mission. Like, usually it's quite a long mission. This area is also quite cool, really. It's like a very poor area of the Empire. Honestly, doing this run, I've got like a newfound interest in like figuring out more of the lore and like the universe of this game, because like that's one of the things that really that I really liked about this challenge, was that the routing aspect, like trying to figure out the good strats, because no one has done, or probably someone has probably done it, but no one has uploaded the video of a high chaos speedrun. So I didn't know what the best like way of killing people were, so I had to explore many areas of the game that I hadn't explored in many years, and I had to really think about it. That was a really cool process. I really enjoyed that. I spent a couple days like routing out the speedrun. Yeah. Here I'm looking at the thing. Maybe I'll put the algorithm for it up on screen. But basically, the order of the names and the items is random, but the way where they are slotted into the message is always the same. So one of the items you won't know about by the text, but the other 4 you will know, and you gotta like match the item to the owner, to the lady's name. So I'll probably put that on screen so you can see. Like you would read it twice, first for the first block, and then again for the second block of text. Right, so we had to do that riddle because this place is like locked between that lock. That the riddle is like, it's like a locking mechanism. This is like a kind of weird area that is kind of fucked up in the timeline. We'll do some time traveling and shit. Like, actually really cool, like, concept.
Is that Stilton?
I think I'm gonna do some lore exploration. More on this game. Like, usually, like in Sekiro, I haven't been too interested in the lore. Like, I've already, in the past, done like a deep dive on the lore. But I haven't been super interested in it lately. So, some more lore here. I guess what I'm more interested in is like the world, like how the world is built up and such. I don't care so much about the stories of the characters as much as like I really like the the world and the setting and such, because it's like a dystopian empire, but they do have like some pretty cool like technology. I think that's like a really cool setting that they made for this game series. I still need to play the Death of the Outsider version. I haven't played that yet. I do have the game, so maybe I'll do a playthrough of that too. Would be kind of interesting. But that's also a thing, like whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I should play this game, I'm like, I probably want to do a speedrun instead. I really like enjoy speedrunning, even if I played the game a million times already. Right, gotta kill those two guys, because otherwise you get chased in here and they murder you. Because we don't have double jump, you have to do this like slow climbing up. And so you actually basically have to kill those enemies if you wanna get safely by there. But yeah, we got this timepiece which lets you travel in time. So we gotta go back in time and like figure out what they did to make Delilah immortal. Which they did in this mansion. I like how every place in this game is like a mansion. That plays into that like setting that I like, with like dystopian, where like there's a bunch of giga rich people and a bunch of giga poor people. It's kind of cool. It shows some it's an atmosphere that I think like is very, it's a bit touching in a way. Like you can really understand the desperation and the shit situation that many of the characters find themselves in.
Be the worst here. The two times are overlapping somehow.
There's a lot of good polishing on the game too, like static NPC dialogue and shit. Right, so we sleep darted that guy in the past so that he was late to the meeting that they are currently doing, the communion where they are making her immortal, some sort of weird ritual. While it's playing, you can walk around and get some free kills here, just increase chaos a bit. But yeah, so he's late, and that way there are boards on the door when you go to the present. Because he never locked the door, instead they just like... Yeah, they did lock it, and then I don't know, boards are on it, so you can just slash the boards and enter. Otherwise you need to go get some key or something. I don't actually know how that works, because in speedruns we always... I think you can still open the door, actually, but for this run specifically, all these NPCs won't be here in the present if you kill him in the past, because that's another like aspect of the chaos, right? High chaos, because if you take the route of killing him, like shooting him there instead of sleep darting him, then the present will be more grim, and these NPCs won't be here for us to kill them and increase the chaos. Yeah. Right, the game is kind of going fast here, so I can't explain everything that's happening. But here we have some more cutscenes. This is an example of something that you can skip in a speedrun that allows glitches. And it's kind of a cool skip. Like, in that room just before we got this cutscene, when you interact with the door is when this cutscene sequence happens. And instead of taking the door, you can like clip out of bounds.
This part of the void feels older.
I thought I'd find a way to escape.
And that's a pretty like... Yeah, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. You can yeah, clip out of the map and get the trigger at the end of the cutscenes, which, it's funny, it's there from the very beginning. The very end trigger for everything. It's there at the from the very start. So you can just clip through walls. So it's not this trigger. There is a trigger here to go to the next part of the cutscene, and we'll have to hit that in a moment. And then the final trigger
To draw from it.
is just there, but it's blocked by a wall. So normally you would have to wait for the wall to disappear, which happens when he's done talking. But with the skip, you can like skip the wall too.
You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away. Inside a thing made of...
But yeah, if you haven't played this game, I do recommend it. It's very often on sale.
If you want
And also Dishonored 1 is like really, I think it's $10
back to her,
without a sale.
reaching it won't be easy.
But that one is also sometimes on sale for like $5.
Thing you will ever have to do.
These games are very good. They aren't that long, which is one thing, but on this game you can get 2 playthroughs out of it. You know, a Corvo and an Emily playthrough. Of course, I always say to people that if you really like a game, you can also try a speedrun or also like a no death run. On this game, you can one of the
Back to the skip.
strategies, or not strategies, one of the challenge runs that is kind of incentivized by the game itself is, you know, of course a high chaos run like this, but you can also do what's called a non-lethal ghost run,
Maybe no one will
which
even
is
notice.
where you get,
Things have
the game will
changed
give you 2 achievements for it. Clean hands, and I can't remember what the other one is called, something ghost.
Dust is
But yeah, if you complete the entire game without getting spotted or without killing anyone,
around Paolo.
then you get some achievements, and you also get a clean hand special ending, which is pretty cool. That's something like to do on this game as well. And Dishonored 1 has like the same sort of things, just this game has those features like more pronounced, and they are more encouraging of you to do it. On the end of the mission, you can even see like how many times you got spotted and how many people you killed and such. And at the end of the mission, like you could reload back a save file at the start of the mission that you failed on, or like, you know, got spotted on if you were working on a ghost run. So you could go back and then undo your mistakes, and then you don't have to restart the run completely. Of course, that's something you can also do if you want. Do a run without any loads, save reloads. That is up to you if you want to do it. I haven't done one of those runs. Maybe I'll do one in the future. I personally like prefer speedruns. This game is also very easy to get into for speedrunning. There are some good tutorials, and the only thing is that you gotta have a good frame rate, at least if you want to run with glitches. That's one thing that's kind of unfortunate, because there is a technique called leaping, which is not used at all in this run because it requires you to use a macro, and it also is a glitch, right? For speedruns with glitches, like pretty much all the speedrun.com runs for this game are with glitches because they don't have a glitchless category. And such, and as such, like, it's very like glitch centered, but I do think the glitches do make the run more fun. I obviously see the appeal of someone to go for a glitchless run, and if you were gonna do that, you could use this video as a baseline. Just remove all the high chaos stuff, and you could do something like that. Sierra Death, who is like the speedrun god of this game, he also has a glitchless speedrun video. Oh. I don't remember this. This is kind of a dangerous part. This run is hard without double jump. This jump is hard without double jump. At this point, I'm being very safe with my mana because I know there is a part later in the game where I have to use a potion or I will get hit. It's in the final mission. Alright, so we kill this guy. Sometimes this guy can be a that can be a clone here instead. This guy has a body double, And you gotta make sure that you kill the real one. It will tell you when you do kill him if it's the original one, or the real one, or the double body. But if it's the body double, then you gotta go searching. And that's really slow. So I got the optimal spawn there, which is quite nice.
Wonder if it was even really alive.
Here I wanted to get the mana potion, but that guy scared me. I don't remember that guy like exploding there. I haven't played this game that much. I pretty much like, I bought it knowing that I was gonna speedrun it, because I was into speedrunning this game because before it came out. I actually got into speedrunning because of Dishonored 1. Watching that at GDQ. Fearful Ferret and Decided Sloth.
So,
Those two were the runners that introduced me to this game and to speedrunning as... Oh, to
Long live whatever
Dishonored
happens
1 and speedrunning as a whole.
dreadful whale then. And on
So I bought the game, played it like once, and then I tried speedrunning it.
to help Emily
This game.
and to give her back the throne.
ready then?
Come on,
So I
let's
honestly
leave this
don't know that
place.
much about the game.
As you want.
But I've learned a lot about the game through running this. Right. So we're on the final mission now. This run is pretty short, and the speedruns are even shorter, like the actual like full glitch speedruns. I encourage you to watch one of those. They're quite cool. They're very different. They're very fun to perform. The movement is super fun. Like you can b-hop and, you know, use the leaps and such. For Emily,
If old sin
you have like a different skill, so that's also like, you know, Corvo speedrunning and Emily speedrunning, also two different things. So there's a lot of different ways to enjoy this game, which is super nice. And again, this is a good value game, I think. Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2. Death of the Outsider is outlandishly expensive though for how long that game is. That game is like only a couple hours long. And like the speedrun for it is like 8 minutes long. But man, these games are great. I don't know if they're gonna continue working on the series, like making more games, because I only found out, but the guy who made the music for them, he died. He died like the same year that the most recent one came out. Daniel, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Licht or something like Lich. It's pronounced L-I, or it's spelled L-I-C-H-T. Yeah. That's really unfortunate. The music for this game is quite cool. You probably won't hear in this run because honestly I don't know if it's like YouTube and Twitch safe. Like I don't know if it's like licensed. So I had to cut out the credits music because I'm not sure if it's safe to play without like getting copyright striked or whatever. I don't know, like some games have like licensed music in them and some don't. That's one thing I love about the FromSoft games, like Sekiro and Dark Souls 3. The soundtrack is just like, you know, free to use because they're developed in-house for the specific purpose of the game. But I think that's the same with this game, but I couldn't find anything online saying whether or not they were safe to play.
Up in the throne room.
I don't think... yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, sorry, no music on this run. Here I gotta be careful because they can spot you through from the side. And here you gotta walk to not get spotted by a guy underneath. And then you gotta run and go up here. But actually, I was kinda late because I waited for mana. This witch saw me killing the other one, so she's aggro to me, and this was very nervous. I was very nervous here. because I hadn't, like, if you try and just go through here while they are looking for you, you will 100% get killed because they can teleport. And there's like a secret opening in the fireplace behind me here that you gotta go to get to the top of the tower and fight Delilah. So I'm also getting my sleep dart ready, but I don't end up using it. But yeah, I lose like a minute here to having to de-aggro everything. Yeah, this was... I'm glad I did this so I didn't have to, you know, go again. I was very on a time crunch to complete this run. I actually got this run on the final day of the bounty on March 31st. And it ended like midnight April 1st. So you interact with this lamp and then you can go through here. It's not safe to just rush here because they, like, while you're crawling under that surface, the witch can like teleport in to this room and shoot you while you're crawling through. So yeah, you have to be careful there. Alright, time for the final boss. This is another thing that you could count as a glitch. And honestly, I think at some point I would like to do a run where I don't use this glitch, where I fight her legit. Because it would be kind of interesting to see what the best strategy is for that. But yeah, we're gonna shoot her body that is standing like on top of a rock. Out, like kind of outside of the map, but not really. I think it's intended. Because like it's so easy to do. But I'm not sure. Like the game even lets you like climb up there. So her body with her health bar is like standing up here. So if you kill that, you'll instantly kill her. I almost got hit there. I had a run that actually finished, or like that actually got destroyed there because I got hit right at the end before exiting by like her ads in the fight. So that's the final time also. 36 minutes and 57 seconds. And here is me showing the high chaos screen. For the verification. That's another thing that I accidentally reset to a lot, is accidentally skipping over this so you can't tell if I got high chaos or not. But yeah. We ended up getting it. I'm very happy about that. You know. This took a lot of effort, but we did get it, and we did end up winning the bounty. There was a guy, there was only one other guy who completed the run. My run was faster, so, you know. But his run was also cool. I guess I'll link it actually below, just for fun. Here is the high chaos ending cutscene. I'm gonna talk over it, so if you wanna actually hear it, you should probably Google it. Google all the endings. Unless you're gonna play it, then don't. Then go get them yourself. But yeah, I also want to quickly give a shout out to the Dishonored 2 speedrunning community, and especially the guy called Someone Else. He showed me where in memory the chaos value was, which helped me a lot because then I could like monitor it with Cheat Engine as I was playing to or as I was training. I didn't use cheats for this run. I want to be clear that I do know about like that you gotta disable those sorts of shit, because when you're doing a full attempt, you gotta not use that, because it can influence some things. But when I was routing, it was very useful. So yeah, thanks to those guys, and thank you to, you know, the people on my Twitch channel for supporting me mentally through this, because this was quite an annoying run to get. I played for like 20 hours. I played for like 12 hours one day, and 7 hours another day before I got it. Like back to back, because I started super late, so I really had to rush. It was a little bit stressful. But yeah. Thank you for watching as well. Like I'm gonna be working on a few more Dishonored 2 runs before before going back to Sekiro. So I hope you will enjoy those, and yeah. Again, thank you for watching.